Eléonore Caroit, of the President Macron's alliance. Just describe to me how you're feeling tonight. There's a lot of arrows being slung the way of your president.
Yes, but I think, as most French people, I feel extraordinarily relieved tonight, because when you look at how we felt a week ago, thinking that potentially France was going to go into the far-right regime, and seeing the results, although they're only projections, I mean, we're breathing again. Now, what I hope, especially listening to Jean-Luc Mélenchon, is that he's not going to steal the left's victory, and that we are going to be able to make that alliance for which the French people voted for, with all the Republican arc, which goes from the right to the reasonable right to the reasonable left, you know, as most parliamentary democracies do, where you agree on priorities and when you agree on being responsible, which is what we missed for the past 2 years. We had a very irresponsible opposition, and this is what led us to the situation where we're now. Again, we're breathing again. People voted massively. They said they did not want the Rassemblement National in power, and I think that's an extraordinary relief. But we shall see now what happens, and also how for instance, the Socialist Party, who doubled its score, does not let Jean-Luc Mélenchon steal the victory again, as he has done in the past.
We're listening to the other party leaders, and they're talking about President Macron. Gamble not working. It's showing that other parties actually now taking the manoeuvre. I want your opinion, because if we listen to the last few weeks, party insiders not sure within the Renaissance Party, is he doing the right thing? The quote was, there's a narrow path to victory. What did he mean for him, or is this the narrow path of the Republican arc?
I think for the country, you know, a country where you have an opposition that is threatening you every other day of dissolving the government and dissolving the National Assembly, is a government that is very difficult to put in place, and where it's very difficult to move forward. So you had Les Républicains that said, we're going to come with a motion de censure in September. You had a NUPES that was composed mainly of, you know, Jean-Luc Mélenchon being the most vocal voice, although it did not correspond to the vote of the European elections. And now you see that it's reshuffled. The ensemble, the President Macron's center, was seen as the loser. It is not. It comes in second position, and it stays pretty strong in a very diverse Assemblée. So I think we have to also see that. And right now, what matters is the ability to make compromises. And I think there's several countries that have shown in the past few days that they are willing to make compromises, that they did already, to make sure that the Rassemblement National did not go forward. And now what I'm worried and concerned about is listening to Jean-Luc Mélenchon being the first leader to take, you know, the stand when his party is actually losing tonight. And that is something that we should remember, because he's the one who's not winning any seats in the projections that we're seeing.
Now, briefly, because I know we have a lot of politicians coming in and out tonight, we're speaking to a lot. You're going to find out very soon whether or not you've kept your seat.
Yes, absolutely, because, you know, I represent French people living abroad, and we have to wait until the last bureau closes in the word, so that we have all the results of, in particular, internet voting. So I shall know in half an hour.
Is it looking good?
Look, yes, but, you know, whatever happens, and I will tell you in half an hour, I am relieved that we don't have a France that is governed by the far right. And only that is already so important. And I think, as most French people today, I think there is a way, and the way depends on our ability, our collective ability, wherever we are in this Republican arc, to move forward, to agree that we disagree on certain things, to choose our priorities, and to just move forward as most parliamentary regimes do in the world. So I think it's a good news for France. We're going to learn to do compromise. But, you know, it was about time.
OK, I know you've got to go to your party. Hopefully we'll speak to you later on.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Well,